what is an alter ego and how can you use it to enable greater performance, greater success in your life or in your business? The alter ego is this concept that we have a greater self, greater potential. We can even use a role model as an alter ego, but alter ego is generally more self-based. So it's visualizing your future self, your ideal self, and working towards it. So if you listen to the episode I did on identity, you'll know that our identity can be molded, can be changed, can be shifted, and it's not set in stone. Therefore, creating this alter ego can enable you to tap in to some inner resources and potential. It really is quite a magical tool because it helps you to highlight certain aspects in yourself that you maybe don't use that often. So let's look at a few examples on how you can use it practically in your daily life or in your work. If, for instance, you feel that you're someone who doesn't take enough risks and someone who isn't as courageous as you'd like to be, all you need to do is first get inspired by looking at some role models in your life or around you that do take more risks. So that gives you a sense of what it's like. And then every time you're in a situation where you hesitate, where you feel it's a bit scary, even something small, like just talking to someone you don't know, in those moments, you can ask yourself, what would my alter ego do? What would this super brave, super strong, courageous person do in this situation? And then, that's the challenging part, you act as that alter ego would do. The more you do this, the more you become like this alter ego. This sounds simplistic, but it really, really works. And this is simply because the more you take action towards a certain identity, the more you become that identity. As Aristotle said, excellence isn't an act, it's a habit. It's something we do over and over again until we become it. This comes from first crafting your alter ego. This means deciding what would this person look like, act like, be like, dress like, feel like. What would their peer group be like? What sort of things do they do? Their habits, everything you can around this identity of who your future self would be or your alter ego. Alter ego is probably even better than future self because future self, you're putting it away from you. Alter ego, it's right here, right now. It's within you. It's just another dimension. So if you want to be more assertive or more confident, tap into your assertive and confident alter ego and speak from that place. Several things happen when we do this. First of all, because we all have people around us that are maybe courageous or confident, we actually know what it's like. We know how they speak, how they act, maybe how they feel. And so we have within us the ability to act that way. We're maybe just not used to it. And so in the moment when you tune into it, it's like you reactivate certain parts within you. Something else that happens that's interesting is it doesn't make us feel as alone. I know that sounds strange, but I know that when I use my alter ego, it suddenly felt like I had this extra support, this extra strength. It's just me, but it feels that way. It feels like we've got something protecting us or that we can cling on to, a bit like our magic wand in Harry Potter. And this gives us the strength to actually use some of these characteristics of your alter ego. Something else that you can do is to use a ring or a certain anchor, physical anchor, so that every time you see this, you remember, oh yes, I'm a confident person, or I'm a courageous person, or I'm a bold person, or assertive, or great negotiator. And it reminds you of your alter ego. The more clearly you can define, craft, write, and design this alter ego or this new identity, the easier it will be to tap into it. And of course, if there's one specific element you really want to work on, courage, confidence, discipline, you can just use that one. Think, okay, I'm a really disciplined person. Oh, well, in the moment where you're hesitating between the undisciplined lie-in versus the morning disciplined run, your brain will think, all right, I'm a disciplined person. I do these sort of things. And it shifts towards it. And don't worry if it doesn't work every single time. Progress over perfection, always. and always compassion. But compassion doesn't mean complacency. Compassion means saying, okay, didn't work today. That's okay. How can I learn so that next time I actually fully embrace the capacities and the inspiration from this alter ego? So this is really a tool that can help you to change the way you act, to change the way you think, to change the way you interact with people. And you'll start to notice that your behavior shifts. And as you do this, you'll become more and more like your alter ego, to the extent where you'll even portray this image of confidence or assertiveness. You're just the same person. It's just you're practicing that more, or you're acting in a way that's more assertive or more confident or braver or stronger. And so people see you in that light. It can also come a bit as a surprise, because if there's a big gap between where you are and this alter ego, when people start to see you in this new light, you might think, oh, but this isn't really me. Deep down, it's all moldable. We've got a strong inner core, and all the rest is just things that we can shift. It's like putting on a new dress or new clothes. You can put on the dress of impatience. You can put on a dress of laziness. You can put on a dress of courage. You can put on a dress of bold. You can put on a dress of confidence. They're all moldable. It's not something that makes you who you are and who you're not. I've had moments when I shifted, and this happens a lot, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you shift from different phases in your business, where you suddenly think, but who am I now, doing all of this stuff? And you can even have that imposter syndrome. Truth is, we're just us. And there isn't a person isn't confident or not confident, or strong or not strong, or bold or not bold. There's just people who practice more confidence, who practice more being bold and assertive, to the extent where they come across that way. Does that mean they have no inner weaknesses, inner flaws, inner doubts? Of course they do, but they've practiced more feeling strong, feeling they can do it, building on their self-belief, so they come across that way. Does that mean there's nothing you could do that wouldn't shift it back to them doubting? Probably you could, but they've practiced the other version so much that version is a lot stronger. Think of it like learning language or putting on a robe. So the good news is, using that alter ego, using that version, you can actually enable these inner skills to come out, this new version of yourself or new characteristics of yourself to come out. And if you struggle with having this vision of it coming from you or your alter ego, then you can do the same with role models. It's exactly the same principle. You look at someone who you admire for specific skills. Maybe they're fantastic speakers. Maybe they're really great leaders. And then you think, wow, I'd love to be like that in some of the elements. And then start to look more in detail. What is it that they do? Do they have excellent emotional intelligence? Do they have a calm and grounded speech? Well, start to speak more calmly and grounded. And you can even ask yourself in certain moments, what would, Tony Robbins do? What would the singer be like instead? And start to try and reproduce it within you. It'll still be your own version. You're never going to be that other person, but you're tapping into some skills that are very similar, to some aspects that are very similar. So if you find this easier, if you find the role model version easier than the alter ego, it'll lead to the same results. The bottom line is, it's not faking it till you're making it. It's tapping into something you already have and using it to build that inner strength. This is all really about inner strength, inner belief, inner trust, because with that, you can tackle most challenges, if not all challenges in life. And you can build this inner strength. You can build this inner confidence and resourcefulness. You don't need anything external to build this. And tools such as the alter ego, such as role modeling, can help you to release this. So keep it in mind. If you've got a strong conversation coming up, if you've got a negotiation for a raise, if you're about to have a really tough conversation, or things are about to get a bit heavy, think, okay, what skills do I need right now? Confidence, bold, assertive, patience, calm, whatever it is. And then either see that version of yourself and tap into it, Or look at someone that you admire that has these skills. Can even be a friend or a family member. It doesn't have to be, someone famous or anything. And then embrace it and act from that place. You'll be amazed to see how it really shifts things within you, how differently you feel, how you don't have this feeling of loneliness as much and you feel stronger, and how it impacts the results. It changes your perspective. And this is also why, on a last note, so important to have a great peer group. So important, because they can be your role models. They can be demonstrating the skills and assets that you want to have. And then you just think, what would, my friend Robert do here, or my friend Judy? Oh yeah, she's really assertive. She's direct. She goes to the point. Okay, I'll do it like that. Now, if your whole peer group is crumbling and in victim mindset and complaining all the time, not as easy to get this role model. And this is actually why I love, for instance, podcasts that I also listen to a lot, because they give me these inspirations, role models, ideas, way of thinking, way of doing, and then we can start to replicate this within us. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember your alter ego. Remember, it's something that you can use in any situation that can really help you to progress and to activate these skills within you. Thank you for tuning in.